Unveiling Hidden Meanings, an introduction to Quranic symbolism. The Quran, revealed as guidance for humanity, is a text rich with layers of meaning. Every verse and chapter carries multiple layers of meaning, waiting to be discovered by those who seek knowledge. Beyond its literal interpretation, there's a world of symbolism waiting to be explored. This symbolism not only enriches our understanding but also connects us to a deeper spiritual dimension. This video delves into the fascinating world of numerical symbolism in the Quran. These numbers are not just digits, they carry profound and significant meanings. We'll explore how specific numbers hold deeper meanings, enriching our understanding of the divine message. Every number in the Quran is carefully chosen and serves a specific purpose. By studying chapters like Ar-Rahman, which is the 55th chapter, and Ya-Sin, the 36th, we can begin to appreciate the profound impact of numerical patterns on our spiritual growth and educational approach. Each of these chapters carries a unique and profound message that can deeply impact our lives. The Quran encourages reflection and contemplation. It invites us to ponder the deeper meanings behind every verse and word. Muslims are urged to think not only about the words, but also about the structure and arrangement of the text. This structure often carries deeper meanings and can help us understand the Quran's message better. Numerical symbolism, often intertwined with other literary devices, adds another dimension to this exploration. It invites us to see the Quran from a different and more profound perspective. It invites us to delve deeper into the divine message and uncover hidden treasures of wisdom. Every number and symbol in the Quran is a key to a deeper understanding of divine revelation. Exploring numerical symbolism is not about reducing the Quran to mathematical codes. Instead, it's about appreciating the intricate tapestry of God's words and recognizing the deliberate choices made in their revelation. It's about appreciating the intricate tapestry of God's words and recognizing the deliberate choices made in their revelation. Each of these choices carries profound meaning and can help us understand the Quran's message better. By understanding the significance of numbers in specific contexts, we gain a richer and more nuanced understanding of the Quran's message. This is a crucial step in our spiritual journey. This journey into numerical symbolism is an invitation to engage with the Quran on a deeper level. It's a chance for us to approach the Quran with open hearts and minds. It's about cultivating a sense of wonder and appreciation for the divine artistry present in every verse. Each verse and chapter is a work of art that carries deep and significant meaning. As we embark on this exploration, let's remember that the ultimate goal is to draw closer to our Creator and embody the Quran's teachings in our lives. By understanding the numerical symbolism in the Quran, we can draw closer to God and understand His message more deeply. Exploring the symbolism of numbers in the Quran. Implications across various verses. Abstract, this paper looks deeper into the symbolism of numbers in the Quran. We'll study additional chapters and their verses to suggest a broader framework for symbolic interpretation. By including more verses in our analysis, we aim to show how this numerological approach can change our understanding of the sacred text, while acknowledging that this method involves some guesswork. Introduction. The Quran, revered for its linguistic beauty and divine message, has been interpreted in many ways. Traditional interpretations focus on the literal, theological, and historical meaning of the text. Number symbolism, or exploring number patterns for deeper meaning, is less common but rooted in Islamic mysticism, especially in practices like Ilm al-Jafr. This study argues that by looking at more verses through a numerical lens, we might uncover layers of symbolic meaning that resonate with modern believers seeking spiritual depth. Methodology: expanding the selection of surahs. Beyond Surah 1 and Surah 89, this study includes Surah 55, Ar-Rahman, known for its repetitive structure, and Surah 36, Ya-Sin, significant in Islamic tradition. Quantitative analysis. We analyze the number of verses, repetitions of words, phrases, and sequences of numerical values from these surahs. Combinations of numbers derived from verse counts, surah numbers, and the occurrences of specific words were used. Discussion. Surah 55, Ar-Rahman. This surah is known for the repeating phrase, "Then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?" which appears 31 times. This could be symbolically important, maybe representing divine abundance or the many ways God shows mercy. The number 31 might connect to other Quranic numbers through math or combinations, suggesting a cosmic order or divine harmony. Surah 36, Ya-Sin, often called the heart of the Quran, its 83 verses might be symbolically linked to other numerical patterns in the text, hinting at a central role in a believer's spiritual journey. The number 83 might connect to other important Islamic numbers like 19, often mentioned in Quranic numerology discussions, exploring themes of guidance, resurrection, or divine signs. Implications of numerical symbolism, spiritual reflection. Such interpretations might enhance personal spiritual practices by offering new ways to reflect on the text's depth. Educational applications. In teaching, number symbolism can engage students with the Quran in ways that complement traditional study methods. Cultural impact. These interpretations could influence modern Islamic art, literature, or thought, providing new avenues for creative expression rooted in the sacred text. Justification, historical context. Islamic history has examples of seeking hidden meanings through numerical analysis, although this was more common in Sufi or esoteric practices. Textual patterns. The Quran itself contains patterns that might encourage such analysis, like the muqatta'at, mysterious letters, at the beginning of some surahs, which have puzzled scholars for centuries. Limitations. We emphasize that numerical interpretations are speculative, as they lack the consensus and clarity of traditional interpretations. We acknowledge the potential for misinterpretations or going too far in assigning meaning to numbers. Conclusion. This study suggests that while numerical symbolism shouldn't replace traditional interpretations, it can coexist as another layer of understanding, especially for those drawn to mystical or esoteric interpretations. The implications of such analysis can extend to various aspects of Islamic life, from personal devotion to community education, advocating a more inclusive approach to Quranic studies. The Quran and Science, exploring numerological symbolism. Preface. In an age where science and religion often seem at odds, this book aims to bridge these two realms by exploring how the Quran can be approached not just as a spiritual guide but also as a text that invites scientific inquiry, particularly through the lens of numerology. This exploration doesn't aim to replace traditional interpretations, but to complement them by offering a fresh perspective on the Quranic text. Chapter 1. Introduction. This chapter introduces readers to the Quran's significance in Islam and how its textual features have intrigued scholars throughout history. It sets the stage for understanding why science, including the study of numbers, can serve as a tool for a deeper understanding of the divine message. Chapter 2. Why the Quran? Here we delve into the Quran's miraculous nature, focusing on its linguistic beauty, the challenge it poses for replication, and its preservation. This chapter also discusses why this text has been a subject of continuous scholarly interest, setting the foundation for why numerology can be another facet of its study. Chapter 3. The Science of the Quran. This section explores how traditional Islamic scholars have interpreted scientific phenomena mentioned in the Quran, and how modern science has found alignments between Quranic descriptions and scientific discoveries, providing a backdrop for our numerological study. Chapter 4. Numerology in the Quranic context. A brief history of numerology within Islamic scholarship is provided, along with an introduction to how numbers can hold symbolic meaning within the Quranic text, setting the methodology for our analysis. Chapter 5. Methodology. We outline the approach to approaching the Quran with a scientific mindset, focusing on selecting surahs, analyzing verses, and interpreting numerical patterns. Chapters 6 through 9. Each chapter focuses on a specific surah, detailing how numerical patterns can be interpreted symbolically or scientifically, discussing implications for both faith and scientific understanding. Chapter 10. Conclusion. The book concludes by reflecting on the journey of integrating scientific methods with the spiritual exploration of the Quran, advocating for a more inclusive approach to Quranic studies that respects traditional interpretations while embracing modern inquiry. Preface. In an age where science and religion often seem at odds, this book aims to bridge these two realms by exploring how the Quran can be approached not just as a spiritual guide, but also as a text that invites scientific inquiry, particularly through the lens of numerology. This exploration doesn't aim to replace traditional interpretations, but to complement them by offering a fresh perspective on the Quranic text. Chapter 6. Case Studies. Case Study 1. Surah 1. Al-Fatiha. This chapter examines the foundational prayer of Islam, exploring how its 7 verses can be seen as numerically symbolizing completeness or perfection in Islamic thought. We discuss how combining 1 the surah number, and 7, the verse count, might symbolically relate to other significant numbers in the Quran, such as 17, which has historical and theological implications. Case study 2, Surah 55, Ar-Rahman. Here, the focus is on the recurring question, then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? And its 31 occurrences, seeing how this might represent an emphasis on divine mercy or the diversity of God's blessings. We delve into the numerical symmetry and its potential for conveying a deeper spiritual message. Case study 3, Surah 89, Al-Fajr. This surah, named after the dawn, is analyzed for its numerical structure, particularly how the verses might align with the concept of new beginnings or divine guidance. We explore how the number of verses 30 and the specific page layout in certain Quran editions might offer insights into the symbolic representation of time and spiritual awakening. Case study 4, Surah 36, Ya-Sin. Known as the heart of the Quran, the 83 verses of this surah are examined for their numerological significance, possibly reflecting a central or vital role in the Quranic narrative. We look at how the number 83 might connect with other Quranic numerology, perhaps symbolizing guidance, resurrection, or divine signs, and how this might resonate with believers. Each case study in this chapter not only provides a detailed analysis of the surah's text, but also connects the numerological findings to broader Islamic themes, historical interpretations, and potential scientific correlations, thereby illustrating the intersection of faith with a scientific approach to the sacred text. The Quran and Science Exploring Numerological Symbolism. Preface. In an age where science and religion often seem at odds, this book aims to bridge these two realms by exploring how the Quran can be approached not just as a spiritual guide, but also as a text that invites scientific inquiry, particularly through the lens of numerology. This exploration doesn't aim to replace traditional interpretations, but to complement them by offering a fresh perspective on the Quranic text. Chapter 6, Case Studies. Case Study 5, Surah 2, Al-Baqarah. As the longest surah in the Quran, Al-Baqarah's 286 verses offer a rich ground for numerological study. We explore how the structure of this surah might symbolize comprehensive guidance. The significance of specific verses like Ayat al-Kursi, the verse of the throne, is examined for numerical patterns, potentially relating to themes of divine sovereignty or protection. Case Study 6, Surah 96, Al-Alaq. This chapter delves into the first revelation, focusing on the numerical symbolism of the initial 5 verses. We explore how the number 5 can be seen as representing the 5 pillars of Islam or the human senses, connecting the act of creation with the act of receiving divine knowledge. Case Study 7, Surah 112, Al-Ikhlas. Known for its concise declaration of monotheism, this surah with its 4 verses is analyzed for its numerical completeness. We discuss how the number 4 might symbolize balance, wholeness, or the 4 aspects of Islamic faith, offering insights into the essence of belief and the oneness of God. Case Study 8, Surah 18, Al-Kahf. Rich in narratives, including the story of the 7 sleepers, this surah provides an opportunity to explore numerology in narrative form. The number 7 here might symbolize completeness or divine arrangement, and we see how the duration of their sleep, 309 years, might align with other Quranic numbers or themes of resurrection and divine intervention. Each case study not only delves into understanding the numerical significance within individual surahs, but also connects these insights to broader Islamic theology, historical scholarship, and contemporary scientific thought. The case studies aim to illustrate how numerology can serve as a bridge between the spiritual and the scientific, offering believers a new way to engage with their sacred text. Chapter 6, Case Studies. Introduction to the chapter. This chapter presents a series of case studies that delve into specific surahs of the Quran, examining how numerology intersects with their theological content. Each study aims to illuminate the potential for numbers to offer an additional layer of meaning when applied to Quranic verses, fostering a dialogue between traditional interpretations and modern scientific inquiry. Case Study 5, Surah 2, Al-Baqarah. Overview. Al-Baqarah, the longest surah, provides a comprehensive framework of Islamic law and guidance with 286 verses. Numerical analysis. The total number of verses, 286, can be broken down into significant numbers. For instance, if we look at divisors, 143, half of 286, could symbolize a midpoint in the text, reflecting balance or the concept of middle ground in Islam. Ayat al-Kursi, verse 255, is often highlighted for its protection and theological density. The number 255 might be analyzed for its prime factorization or positioning, suggesting a central and pivotal role in understanding divine sovereignty. Symbolism. The chapter might be seen as an architectural structure where numbers serve as foundational elements, reinforcing themes of completeness and divine guidance. Case Study 6. Surah 96, Al-Alaq. Overview. This surah marks the beginning of Quranic revelation with its initial 5 verses. Numerical analysis. The number 5 verses can be linked to the 5 pillars of Islam, suggesting a connection between the act of creation and the foundational practices of faith. The word ikra, read, is repeated twice, potentially symbolizing the dual nature of divine knowledge, revelation, and understanding. Symbolism. The numerology of this surah might highlight themes of knowledge, initiation, and the human-divine connection. Case Study 7, Surah 112, Al-Ikhlas. Overview. Known for its pure monotheistic message, this surah comprises only 4 verses. Numerical analysis. The number 4 could symbolize the 4 aspects of faith in Islam: belief in God, His angels, His books, and His messengers. The symmetrical structure of the surah might reflect completeness and balance in the concept of Tawheed, oneness of God. Symbolism. Here, numerology underscores the singularity and purity of belief in one God. Case Study 8, Surah 18, Al-Kahf. Overview. This surah contains narratives like the story of the 7 sleepers of the cave, focusing on themes of faith, patience, and the mystery of divine intervention. Numerical analysis. The number 7 associated with the sleepers might symbolize completeness or divine perfection, resonating with the concept of 7 heavens. The duration of their sleep, 309 solar years, can be analyzed for its numerical significance, possibly connecting with cycles of time or divine trials. Symbolism. Numerology here could emphasize the unseen aspects of faith, the power of patience, and divine protection across time. Conclusion to the chapter. These case studies demonstrate how a numerological approach can complement traditional interpretations, offering insights that resonate with both the spiritual and intellectual dimensions of the Quranic text. While these interpretations are speculative and not universally accepted, they encourage a deeper engagement with the Quran, prompting believers to consider how every aspect of the text, including its numbers, can contribute to a holistic understanding of the divine message. Case Study 1, Surah 1, Al-Fatiha. Introduction. Al-Fatiha, or the opening, is the first chapter of the Quran, consisting of 7 verses. It holds a paramount place in Islamic worship as it's recited in every unit of daily prayer, making it one of the most frequently recited parts of the Quran. This case study explores how numerological symbolism might intertwine with its theological significance, offering a unique perspective on this foundational surah. Numerical analysis. 7 verses. The number 7 has a rich symbolic history across many cultures, often representing completeness, perfection, or divinity. In Islam, this can be paralleled with the 7 heavens, the 7 days of the week, or the 7 circumambulations around the Kaaba during Hajj. The 7 verses of Al-Fatiha might symbolize a complete cycle of prayer, or a comprehensive guide to understanding the relationship between the worshipper and God. Combining 1 and 7. By combining the chapter number 1 with the number of verses, 7, we get 17, which might symbolically relate to other significant numbers in the Quran. For instance, 17 is the number of the Surah Al-Isra, which describes Prophet Muhammad's night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem. This could be interpreted as linking the act of prayer, Al-Fatiha, with spiritual journeys or divine guidance. Structure and symmetry. The structure of Al-Fatiha exhibits a symmetry that can be analyzed numerically. 3 verses seeking guidance, 1 central verse, Basmala, and 3 verses praising God and acknowledging human dependence on Him. This structure might be seen as a balance between divine attributes and human needs, suggesting a numerological harmony within the act of worship. Symbolic implications. Spiritual completeness. The number 7 could be seen as indicating that Al-Fatiha encapsulates the essence of the entire Quran, providing a microcosm of Islamic theology, ethics, and the path to spiritual guidance. Unity and duality. The number 17 might suggest dual aspects within the spiritual journey: the oneness of God and the diversity of His signs, or the individual's journey, 1, through the stages of faith, 7. Guidance in life. Just as Al-Fatiha is recited at the beginning of prayer, it might symbolize the start of all righteous actions, with the number 7 representing stages or steps towards divine guidance. Conclusion. While these numerological interpretations of Al-Fatiha don't alter its traditional theological understanding, they offer an additional layer of contemplation for those interested in the mystical or symbolic aspects of the Quranic text. It encourages believers to view the surah not just as a prayer but as a numerical blueprint for spiritual life, where each verse, each number has a purpose and place in the grand design of faith. This study acknowledges the speculative nature of such interpretations and doesn't claim them as definitive. However, it invites a broader appreciation of how numbers can be part of the spiritual experience, potentially enriching one's relationship with the text and the divine in a modern context. Surah Al-Isra Overview. Surah Al-Isra, also known as Bani Israel or the Night Journey, is the 17th chapter of the Quran. It has 111 verses and is named after the first verse, which refers to the miraculous night journey of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Jerusalem, known as Isra. This journey is significant in Islamic belief as it precedes the event of Miraj, ascension to heaven. Key themes. The night journey. The surah begins with the narrative of the journey from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque, often interpreted as the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. This event symbolizes the universality of Islam, connecting the prophet's mission with those of previous prophets, divine sovereignty and human responsibility. The surah emphasizes God's power over all creation, the day of judgment, and the moral responsibility of humans. It discusses the consequences of disbelief and the rewards of faith and righteousness. Historical narratives. It includes stories of past prophets like Moses, Solomon, and David, illustrating lessons about patience, faith, and the consequences of rebelling against God's commands. Ethical guidance. Al-Isra provides guidance on personal conduct, family relations, and societal duties, including commands to honor parents and deal justly. Numerological insights. Number 17. As the 17th surah, it might carry symbolic meaning similar to other numbers in Islamic numerology. The number 17 could be seen in the context of spiritual journeys or stages of divine revelation given Prophet Muhammad's night journey. 111 verses. The number of verses might be reflected upon for its numerical properties or symbolic meaning, though traditional interpretations don't emphasize this. Implications for believers, spiritual reflection, the story of Isra and Miraj encourages believers to contemplate the mysteries of the divine will and the special relationship between God and his messengers. Moral and ethical teachings. The surah serves as a reminder of the balance between faith and action, urging Muslims to live truthfully and justly. Interfaith relations. The narratives of Al-Isra highlight the continuity of the prophetic message across different communities, encouraging a sense of unity among monotheistic faiths. Conclusion. Surah Al-Isra is not only significant for its historical and theological content, but also for its role in connecting the prophet's spiritual journey with the practical aspects of living a life guided by divine revelation. Its numerological aspects, though speculative, can add another dimension to its study, particularly for those interested in the mystical or symbolic interpretations of the Quran. The night journey, or Isra wa al-Miraj, is a pivotal event in Islamic tradition, consisting of two parts. Isra, night journey. Details. This event refers to Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, journey from Mecca to Jerusalem. According to Islamic tradition, this journey took place overnight, where the Prophet was transported from Masjid al-Haram, the Grand Mosque in Mecca, to Masjid al-Aqsa, the farthest mosque in Jerusalem. Quranic reference. This event is mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Isra, 17:1, which states, "Glory to Allah, who did take his servant for a journey by night from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque whose precincts we did bless, in order that we might show him some of our signs, for he is the one who heareth and seeth all things." Historical context. This journey occurred around the year 621 CE during a time of great hardship for Muslims in Mecca. Miraj, ascension. Details. Following the Isra, Prophet Muhammad ascended through the heavens where he met various prophets from Adam to Jesus at each level. The culmination of this journey was when he came into the divine presence, closer than any other human had ever been. Key events. Meeting other prophets in different heavens. The establishment of the 5 daily prayers, Salah, after the initial command of 50 prayers was reduced to 5 through the intercession of Moses. Witnessing descriptions of paradise and hell. Significance. This part of the journey emphasizes Prophet Muhammad's status as the final messenger and the universality of his message, linking him to all prophets before him. Cultural and religious impact, spiritual significance. The night journey and ascension are central to affirming Prophet Muhammad's prophethood, showcasing God's omnipotence, and establishing key practices like the 5 daily prayers in Islam. Commemoration. Muslims worldwide commemorate this event on the night of the 27th of Rajab, though the exact date is not universally agreed upon, and celebrations vary by region. It is known as Laylat al-Miraj or Shab-e-Miraj. Symbolism. The journey symbolizes the spiritual path from the earthly realm to the divine, emphasizing the closeness one can achieve with God through faith and devotion. Case Study 2, Surah 55, Ar-Rahman. Introduction. Surah Ar-Rahman, the 55th chapter of the Quran, is known for its emphasis on God's mercy. It's named after the first verse where Ar-Rahman, the most gracious, is mentioned. This surah is unique for its rhythmic repetition of the question, "Then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?" This case study explores the numerical patterns in this surah and their potential symbolic meanings. Numerical analysis. Verse repetition. The phrase "then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny" is repeated 31 times throughout the surah. This repetition might be seen as a numerical representation of divine generosity or abundance. The number 31 being a prime number could symbolize the unending or unique nature of God's mercy, an invitation for reflection on God's blessings, where the repetition serves as a meditative or rhetorical tool to emphasize the theme of gratitude. Symmetry and structure. The surah has 78 verses, which can be divided into 2 equal parts of 39 verses each, with the question appearing at the end of most verses in each part. This symmetry might reflect balance in divine mercy or the universality of God's blessings, touching both the heavens and the earth. Pairs in creation. The surah mentions many things in pairs such as the sun and the moon, stars and trees aligning with the number 2, symbolizing duality or balance in creation. Symbolic implications. Divine mercy. The number 31 might be interpreted as a symbol of unending mercy, encouraging believers to continuously acknowledge and appreciate the countless blessings from God. Spiritual reflection. The structural symmetry could be seen as an invitation for believers to contemplate the order and beauty in the world, realizing that every aspect of creation is a sign of God's mercy. Gratitude and denial. The repetition of the question serves as a reminder of the human tendency to overlook or deny God's favors, urging a state of constant awareness and thankfulness. Conclusion. The numerological aspects of Surah Ar-Rahman, particularly the repetition of the question of mercy, offer profound reflections on the theme of divine generosity. While these interpretations are not part of traditional exegesis, they can add to the spiritual experience by highlighting the numerical harmony of the text, which might resonate with those seeking mystical or deeper symbolic meanings within the Quran. This exploration invites believers to contemplate the mathematical beauty of the Quranic text as a testament to the intricacy and depth of divine revelation. Case Study 3, Surah 89, Al-Fajr. Introduction. Surah Al-Fajr, the 89th chapter of the Quran, is named after the dawn, symbolizing new beginnings and divine guidance. This surah focuses on themes of patience, faith, and the consequences of one's actions, with a strong emphasis on the Day of Judgment. This case study will explore how numerical patterns in this surah can be interpreted symbolically. Numerical analysis, verse count. With 30 verses, Al-Fajr could be seen as symbolizing the days in a month, suggesting cycles of life, death, and rebirth, or a reminder of the continuous renewal of God's signs. Number 89. As the 89th surah, this number can be analyzed for its significance. In numerology, 89 can be broken down to 8 plus 9 equals 17, linking back to Surah Al-Isra, and themes of spiritual journeys or divine guidance. Structural patterns. The surah begins with oaths by the morning brightness, 10 nights, possibly referring to the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, even in Odd, and the night when it departs. These elements carry numerical symbolism. For example, even an odd might represent balance and duality in creation. Symbolic implications. Spiritual awakening, dawn, Fajr, is not only a time for prayer, but also a metaphor for enlightenment and spiritual awakening. The number 30 could symbolize the completion of a cycle, urging believers to reflect on their spiritual journeys. Divine justice and patience. The surah discusses the fall of ancient civilizations, possibly as a numerical sequence of warnings or lessons about God's inevitable justice and patience. Cycles of time, references to specific times like dawn, night, and the departing night might be interpreted as an emphasis on the cyclical nature of time, where each day brings a new opportunity for repentance and righteousness. Conclusion: Surah Al-Fajr invites contemplation on themes of time, patience, and divine justice through its structure and content. While traditional Islamic scholarship doesn't typically delve into numerology, the potential for numerical symbolism here could offer an additional layer of reflection for those interested in the mystical or symbolic dimensions of the Quran. This approach encourages believers to view the Quranic text not just as a guide for moral and spiritual life, but also as a text rich with patterns that might resonate with the natural and spiritual rhythms of existence. Symbolism in the Quran. Numbers 7 often symbolizes completeness or perfection, seen in 7 heavens, 7 earths, 7 days of the week, etc. It's reflected in the 7 verses of Surah Al-Fatiha, or the 7 circumambulations around the Kaaba during Hajj. 40 represents a period of trial or preparation. Prophet Muhammad received his first revelation at around 40, and Moses spent 40 days on Mount Sinai. 99 the number of Allah's most beautiful names, symbolizing God's infinite attributes. Nature and cosmos, sun and moon, frequently mentioned to emphasize God's signs in creation, symbolizing light, guidance, and cycles of life. Stars, seen as signs of God's majesty guiding travelers and metaphorically guiding believers. Animals and birds. Spider, in Surah Al-Ankabut, it symbolizes the fragility of false security. Bee, known for its industriousness and the benefits it provides, symbolizing community and divine sustenance. Historical and prophetic narratives. Noah's Ark, a symbol of safety, patience, and God's mercy amidst divine retribution. Moses' staff represents divine power, authority, and miracles. Architectural and geographical symbols. Kaaba, the direction of prayer, symbolizing unity, the centrality of worship, and the oneness of God. Mountains often symbolize steadfastness, as in the Quran, where mountains are described as pegs holding the earth firm. Symbolism in esoteric interpretations, mystic numbers. Some Islamic mystics, Sufis, delved into numerology, where numbers like 19, mentioned in Surah Al-Mudathir, are seen as having special significance, representing divine order or the structure of the Quran itself. Letters and words, the Muqatta'at, mysterious letters. At the beginning of some surahs are a subject of much speculation, with interpretations ranging from divine secrets to linguistic structures. Alchemical and cosmic symbolism. There's a tradition in Islamic thought, particularly in Sufism, that sees the world as a reflection of divine names and attributes, where everything from the stars to human actions symbolizes aspects of the divine. Cultural and modern interpretations. In Malaysia, MY, where you are based, these symbols often find their way into art and architecture. Islamic motifs and designs such as geometric patterns embody concepts of infinity and union with God. Literature and poetry. Malaysian Islamic literature often employs Quranic symbols to convey moral lessons, spiritual guidance, or to celebrate the beauty of creation. Cultural practices. During religious festivals or daily prayers, these symbols are used to deepen the spiritual experience, such as the significance of the night of Isra Miraj. Case Study 4, Surah 36, Ya-Sin. Introduction. Surah Ya-Sin is the 36th chapter of the Quran, often referred to as the heart of the Quran. It's a chapter that encapsulates many of the Quran's central messages, including the oneness of God, the reality of resurrection, and the significance of the prophetic message. This case study examines the surah from a numerological and symbolic perspective. Numerical analysis, verse count. Ya-Sin consists of 83 verses. The number 83 can be seen as adding up to 8 plus 3 equals 11, where 11 might symbolize divine guidance or revelation, as it's a number often associated with spiritual awakening across various cultures. Within the context of Quranic numerology, the number 83 might be linked to other significant numbers through combinations or arithmetic operations, suggesting a deeper interconnectedness within the text. Muqatta'at Ya-Sin. The mysterious letters at the beginning of this surah are one of the Quran's enigmas. Scholars have various interpretations, but from a numerological perspective, Ya-Sin could be seen as representing 2 letters, potentially symbolizing duality or fundamental elements of life and faith. Structural symmetry. The surah's structure can be divided into themes such as the prophethood of Muhammad, resurrection, and the fate of disbelievers. This thematic division can be seen as a numerical pattern, where each segment has a specific purpose in the narrative of divine mercy and justice. Symbolic implications. Essence of the Quran. The notion of Ya-Sin as the heart might be symbolically linked to the number 83 as representing the core teachings or the essence of faith. This could be interpreted as an invitation for introspection, similar to how one reflects on the heart's role in life. Resurrection and afterlife. The surah's emphasis on resurrection can be connected to numerology, where numbers signify cycles or new beginnings. Here, 83 might symbolize the completion of one cycle of life and the start of another in the hereafter. Divine guidance. The number 36, representing the surah's position in the Quran, might be seen as a symbol of guidance or illumination, especially when considering the surah's role in comforting believers and reminding them of their purpose. Conclusion. Surah Ya-Sin provides a rich field for both traditional interpretations and more esoteric ones like numerology. While traditional scholarship focuses on the theological and moral lessons, numerological and symbolic analysis offers believers another avenue for contemplation, viewing numbers as part of the divine language that can enhance spiritual understanding. This case study, like others, highlights the multi-dimensional nature of the Quran, where every aspect, including its numbers, can be explored for deeper spiritual insights. Quranic numerology, while not a mainstream aspect of traditional Islamic interpretation, has been explored by various scholars and enthusiasts throughout time, particularly within the realm of Islamic mysticism or esoteric interpretations. Here's a glimpse into how numerology could be applied to other surahs. Surah 78, An-Naba. The Great News. Verse count. It has 40 verses. The number 40 in Islamic tradition often symbolizes a period of testing, patience, or completion, seen in various narratives like Moses' 40 days on Mount Sinai, or the 40 years of wandering for the Israelites. Symbolic implications. The surah's structure, with its focus on the Day of Judgment and Resurrection, might align with the numerological symbolism of 40, suggesting cycles of life, trials, and divine reckoning. A symphony of repetition. Exploring the significance of 31 in Surah Ar-Rahman. Surah Ar-Rahman, known for its beautiful words, shows us how important numbers can be. This surah is often called the symphony of repetition because it repeats phrases. The phrase, "Then which of the favors of your Lord will you deny?" is repeated 31 times in this surah. This repetition reminds us how important each blessing is. This repetition is not just for fun, it has a deep meaning. It reminds us of God's endless blessings. The number 31 itself is important in Islam. It's not just a number, it has a deeper meaning. It's the total number of verses in the first 30 surahs of the Quran. This shows a connection between Surah Ar-Rahman and the earlier parts of the Quran. This connection between numbers shows that Surah Ar-Rahman is linked to the earlier parts of the Quran. It encourages us to think about the blessings mentioned earlier. It invites us to think about those blessings and realize we can't deny them. Each blessing is proof of God's endless mercy. The repeated question reminds us of God's endless mercy and the countless blessings we have. It encourages us to be grateful. Each repetition highlights God's amazing mercy, encouraging us to look inwards and be thankful. It reminds us to always be grateful for every blessing. The rhythmic flow of the surah with the repeated phrase creates a captivating effect, drawing the listener into a state of awe and reflection. This is one of the beauties of Surah Ar-Rahman. Additionally, the number 31 aligns with the concept of balance and harmony, which is important in Islam. Just as Surah Ar-Rahman emphasizes the balance between God's creation and His blessings, the number 31, as the sum of the first 6 odd numbers, represents a harmonious balance. This points to the balance in God's creation. By repeating the main phrase 31 times, Surah Ar-Rahman reinforces its main message: to recognize and appreciate the countless blessings our Creator has given us. This is a very important message. This symbolism of the number adds a layer of depth and meaning, enriching our understanding and appreciation of God's infinite mercy. It invites us to reflect on and appreciate every blessing we have been given. Unraveling the cosmic tapestry, unveiling the secrets of number symbolism in Surah Ya-Sin. Surah Ya-Sin, often called the heart of the Quran, gives us another interesting look at number symbolism. This surah is important not just for its spiritual message, but also for its deep numerical structure. With 83 verses, the structure and number patterns of this surah offer a fascinating glimpse into its deeper meaning. Each verse seems to hold a secret waiting to be discovered. The number 83 itself connects to broader numerological themes in the Quran. It's not just a number, but a symbol with a bigger meaning. For example, the total number of verses in the Quran is 6,236, which is double 83. This suggests that this number has a deeper importance in the overall context of the Quran. This numerical connection points to a deliberate relationship and invites us to explore the significance of 83 within the entire Quranic revelation. It's like we're being invited to dive deeper and search for hidden meanings behind this number. Furthermore, the position of Surah Ya-Sin as the 36th surah is important. This number doesn't just show its order but also carries a deep symbolic meaning. The number 36 is linked to perfection in Islamic numerology. This perfection reflects the beauty and completeness of divine revelation. This position, along with the title of Surah Ya-Sin, often interpreted as referring to Prophet Muhammad, suggests that Surah Ya-Sin represents the heart and essence of the Quran's message. It's the center that connects all the elements of revelation. Within Surah Ya-Sin itself, we find other examples of number symbolism. Each number in this surah seems to lead us to a deeper understanding of the message being conveyed. For instance, the story of the three messengers sent to warn a disbelieving city unfolds over 13 verses. This story is not only engaging in its narrative but also in its numerical symbolism. This number, often associated with trials and hardships, highlights the challenges faced by those who convey the message of truth. It reminds us of the sacrifices and dedication of the messengers in delivering divine revelation. By recognizing these numerical patterns, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and interconnectedness of the Quran. Every number, every verse, seems to be interconnected in a complex and beautiful web. Surah Ya-Sin, with its 83 verses and strategic position, acts as a microcosm of the entire Quranic revelation, inviting us to delve deeper into its mysteries and uncover its hidden wisdom. It is a gateway to a broader understanding of the beauty and depth of the Quran. The connection between numbers and verses, revealing deeper meanings within the structure of the Quran. The examples of Surah Ar-Rahman and Surah Ya-Sin highlight a crucial aspect of Quranic symbolism, the relationship between numbers and the verses themselves. Numbers are not merely decorative elements, they are essentially linked to the content and message of the verses they accompany. For instance, the repetition of, "So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?" 31 times in Surah Ar-Rahman emphasizes the abundance of blessings we often overlook. The number 31 strengthens the rhetorical impact of the question, encouraging introspection and gratitude. Similarly, the 83 verses of Surah Ya-Sin, along with its position as the 36th surah, enhance our understanding of its central themes. The number 83 connects the surah to the broader structure of the Quran, while the number 36 highlights its status as the heart of the Quran. This relationship between numbers and verses is not limited to these two surahs alone. Throughout the Quran, we find instances where numerical patterns add layers of meaning and enrich our understanding of the text. By paying attention to these patterns, we develop a deeper appreciation for the intricate design of the Quran and the divine wisdom woven into every verse. Recognizing the connection between numbers and verses is crucial for a holistic understanding of the Quran. It allows us to move beyond mere literal interpretations and appreciate the depth and complexity of Allah's words. By embracing this approach, we embark on a continuous journey of discovery, uncovering new layers of meaning with each reading.